Okay, so I'm going to talk about glaucoma and driving today. So we all know that it's important to be able to drive. You can go visit your family and friends. You can get to your hospital appointments easy, hopefully in one piece. You can get to the golf course, the lawn bowls. You can do all your hobbies. And you can get to the supermarket, which is pretty important. So hopefully you don't end up like this. And we still don't have self-driving cars, but hopefully in the future that will be a solution for us all. Now, if you have glaucoma, does that mean you can't drive? False. The good news is that most people with glaucoma can drive. So relax. But the bigger question is, do you really want to drive in Auckland the way the traffic is and the way Aucklanders drive? Anyway, so how does glaucoma affect driving? Well, why don't you have a look at this photograph for a few seconds. This is someone with fairly advanced glaucoma. Can you see what's wrong with their vision? Can you really see what's wrong? This is what they're actually missing. So the side vision in particular is affected in glaucoma. And the problem is that your brain kind of fools you to thinking that your side vision's okay, but in fact, you're missing all this stuff. And it's a gradual process. It doesn't just happen all of a sudden. It occurs really slowly, so that's why you're not aware that this is occurring. This is a video that I stole from YouTube, but it just demonstrates what it might be like driving with glaucoma. So if you just look at the right-hand side over here, that's where the little smudge is, and the person driving's looking at the cross. So the scary thing is that people and cyclists and that just turn up out of nowhere, so you're not actually aware that you're not seeing them. It can mean changing lanes can be really difficult. Driving at night or in bad weather is really tough. What are other ways that glaucoma can affect driving? So as you've heard today, it can also have, you can get blurry patches in the center of your vision, but it can also affect your contrast ability, and that's how you distinguish objects from their background. And so people who do trip up on steps and that are actually often, that's due to the loss of contrast and they can't quite see the differences. The ability to adjust to glare is also slowed down in glaucoma. And as I mentioned, night driving can also be a problem. So there are studies that have actually demonstrated that if you've got glaucoma, you are at an increased risk of accidents. And just a reminder not to use your cell phone while you're driving. So safety is a priority. So most of you will know that, so Prince Philip was driving up until 96, and I don't think he had a driver's license. Well, no one's ever going to take it away from him. But you can see how anxious the guy in the back looks. So most of us will need a driver's license. And there's, for the vision test, there are two components. One is your visual acuity, which is your central vision, and the other is the visual field test, which is your side vision. If you just go to a driver's license agent, you will have to do this horrible test, which I think I failed once, because it's pretty difficult actually, and it's a pretty rough test. I'm not sure the science behind it, but anyway, If you've actually got glaucoma, then you need a more formal eye test by an optometrist or an ophthalmologist. And as I mentioned, the first part is the visual acuity. So this is when you read down the chart, and you've got to get to the 612 line, which is about half as good as normal vision, if we consider normal vision to be 6.6. If you're seeing up here, that's very poor. The good news is that unless you've got really advanced glaucoma, your visual acuity won't be affected. But if your glasses, if you've got short-sightedness or long-sightedness and your glasses aren't up to date, that could be a problem. If you've got cataracts, which can be addressed, and then macular degeneration can also affect central vision. Now, the second part is the visual field test. So you need to be able to see about 140 degrees, and which is, so if that's 180, it's about here. Most of you will have nightmares about this test, but it's a little bit easier with the driving test because it's done with both eyes open, and the lights are actually a little bit brighter than the normal driving test. Now this will mean absolutely nothing to you, but it's a printout that we see, and it's just giving us an idea of your side vision. And as I say, the magic number is the 140 degrees. So this person had a few missed spots out here. These darker spots are the areas that they're missing. So that'd be a bit borderline for driving. But most people with glaucoma will meet these requirements. But what if you don't? What if your doctor says that you shouldn't be driving? So is this the end of the road? Do you have to take back your brand new Porsche? No, there is still hope. You can go see another eye doctor. No. Until someone passes you. No. So the doctor's not the bad guy. We're actually legally obliged to report you in. But there is still hope. So what I do, if I've got someone who definitely can't drive, then we'll have that conversation. But if you're a bit borderline, say you just miss out on the test, I arrange for you to have a further assessment, and this is with an occupational therapy driving specialist, and these are available throughout Auckland actually. What they do is they perform another assessment to see whether or not you're safe to drive. The first part is an off-road assessment, but don't get too excited, it's not this kind of off-road. It's in the office. And this test is looking at things like your coordination, your judgment, your memory, decision-making times. And then the second part is an on-road assessment, which is just your driving in a range of different situations, parking, that sort of stuff. So the occupational therapist will then write back to either the doctor or the NZTA if they all recommended it, and they will give us some recommendations, and then from that a decision will be made whether you can continue driving with restrictions, or you need to stop driving. And the most common outcome I find is that they say that you can drive, but just within limitations. Now, if you are told you can't drive anymore, you do have a further avenue. You can actually take further action through the district courts if you really, really wanted to drive and you felt that you were safe. All right, just to finish off, so if you do have glaucoma and you are still driving, so what are some of the things that you can do today when you leave here to make things safer? Well, one thing is that you can move your head and eyes more from side to side as you drive, obviously still focusing on the centre. There is evidence to suggest that people with glaucoma who have this type of behaviour, and a lot of people would develop this naturally, have less risk of accidents. Be alert for vehicles, cyclists, pedestrians, and children. Drive more slowly. This gives you more time to react as well, and glance often at your rear view and side mirrors. Make sure that your windshield is clean and that your car maintenance is up to date, or your headlights and tail lights are working. Make sure your glasses are clean and up to date. Check that they've got an anti-glare coating with your optometrist, and have a good pair of sunglasses for bright days. And only drive in your comfort zone, so familiar areas. Try avoid bad weather and night driving. And remember to take your eye drops, and also do whatever you can to help your doctor prevent your glaucoma from getting worse. If you definitely can't drive, it's not the end of the world. There are some benefits. Think of all the cost savings. You don't have to pay insurance, less hassle maintaining a car. You can go on a cruise once a year instead. And there are also lots of other options available in Auckland for public transport, lots of voluntary services for you as well. So it's not the end of the world if you can't drive. All right? Thank you for your attention.